Hello again, and welcome to part 2 of my indoor aquaponics project, where I've converted an Ikea cabinet into a small aquaponics system, and I've now expanded it. I'll show you a few changes that I've made, and hopefully answer a few of the frequently asked questions that have come up in the different forums that I've been posting the video to. So let's have a look. First thing you notice is that I've switched to an entirely PVC system, and I've got rid of the clear tubing. PVC is just far less expensive than the clear tubing, and although the clear tubing was really neat, it's just not cost effective, and I have a lot more control over the PVC system, as I'll show you shortly. You also notice that I've switched out the small aquarium pump that used to be behind the brick there, and have installed a much larger pump designed for a pond. This one pumps 300 gallons per hour, but it allows me to regulate the flow with the ball valves that I've installed. You see that I had to take a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch brass fitting and a 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch slip in order to get the pump set up to use with 3/4 PVC. I've also introduced several more fish into the system, and we have 11 of them in there now, and they're all doing very, very well. For those of you who asked, that is just a regular aquarium heater in the back, and the floaty thing that used to be over here by the brick in the last video has now affixed itself to the tubing here and is growing very rapidly. So it looks like we are going to have a water lily in our tank. So we'll go ahead and let me answer one frequently asked question. This little guy is Charles Darwin, and he is holding a copy of Origin of Species in his hand, and when you remove his head and look down inside, there's a monkey. So for those of you who are asking me about that, there you have it, and I have no idea where it came from. It was a gift. We'll go ahead and move up to the garden here. You'll see in the flood valve I've installed a ball valve to control the flow. I've made it to where it fills a little bit more slowly now than it did before, and it flushes just as fast as it ever did. I've also added some PVC and drilled some holes in the bottom of the pipes in here to allow a more equal distribution of nutrients throughout the grow bed. I've removed quite a bit of the river rock that was in here before and decided to go with hydrocoral. I've read reviews between hydroton and hydrocoral, and since I found a place locally that has hydroponic and aquaponic supplies, it was cost effective to go ahead and go with the hydrocoral. You see my seedlings in the rock wool cubes. One of the questions a lot of people were asking me was I worried about microshards from the rock wool cubes getting into the fish tank? And the answer is no, I'm not concerned. I don't think there's going to be a big problem with that. If I do notice a problem, I'll just put a piece of nylon over the drain, and that should solve any problems there. This is also week 2 for these seedlings here. And I'm also glad I went with the rock wool cubes because we have had some problems. I installed a different grow bed. This is not the grow bed that is supposed to be with this system with the PVC, but I had some system failures with it, and I had to move these guys around quite a bit. If they were having the roots exposed over and over again, during all of the problems that we were having, they would definitely be dead right now. So the Rockwool cubes have saved the lives of all of my seedlings here. Let me take you back down and I'll show you how I've set up the extension of my system. You can see the pump tees off and angles up right there. And what that's doing is that's flooding this system over here. See, I'm using natural daylight, and I'm also compensating for lack of light during the winter months with a fluorescent array up above. I've been able to control the flow to where it's just a trickle by installing a ball valve here. So it just trickles into the bed here. Everything goes on a downward angle, flows around the corner down there, and comes back here to a constant drain system. Now, I did not start these from seeds. These are store-bought herbs, a rosemary and a thyme. The poor thyme got sucked into the bell siphon in the other system. One branch of it was caught underneath the rocks, and as the hydrocoral settled, it sucked half of the plant down into the drain. So it's recovering, but recovering slowly. This is just a regular house plant. That was our first test to see if this system was going to work. And it's wilted, but it's bouncing back. You can see now that the overhead light came on this morning and we opened up the blinds, and it's bouncing back very, very well. The rosemary also experienced some shock, but it's standing back up again. That is a pea stalk right there. Some more basil and lettuce that didn't do very well during all the moving around. Now, what I have here, I tried to look for grow baskets that would fit the dimensions that I needed, and I found some, but they're just far too expensive, and I wasn't going to pay for shipping. So I found these 18 cubic inch electrical gang boxes, and I ripped some slots in them to allow water to flow through. And what I plan to do is start my seedlings in the nursery, and once they're well established in there, I'm going to move them into these grow containers in the bins out here, and just keep a continuous cycle of seedlings and full-grown plants throughout the year. Well, I hope you enjoyed the second installment of my system. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them. I appreciate any critique and any comments you may have. Thank you.